Hi, Tiana. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I get to talk to a Black woman that is a Marvel superhero. I'm here for
Ah,
it.
thank you. I'm excited to talk to all of you. Thank y'all.
Yeah, one of the I really wanted to ask you is so important about representation on these shows, but especially for Black women. And I wanted to ask you about the importance of portraying Monica Rambeau, but also to the importance of keeping her identity on the show as a Black woman.
And when you say keeping her identity, what do you mean by that?
Because it's one thing to have a diverse cast, but to also keep the identity that we see her in her natural hair, like even as we go through these
Hmm.
different periods, but also too while not ignoring what is happening in the background during the decades in which these episodes take place.
Absolutely. First of all, I it is a complete honor for me to be able to step into Monica Rambeau's shoes. If you're a comic book fan, then you know she is a total badass. And just even when I heard that we saw her as a little girl in Captain Marvel, but I didn't really imagine that she would get fleshed out and grown up. Silly me, to uh not expect that. But now that we're here, I mean it's just truly been an amazing experience. The creatives that I've gotten to work with, Matt Shackman, who is our director, Mary Lavanos, who is our main producer, and Jack Schaefer, our head writer, they were so open to my ideas. Obviously, they had their own ideas of who she was and what they wanted her to grow into. But everything that I came to them with, any concerns I had, like you mentioned, like, okay, so we have this Black woman who is going through the decades with the rest of this amazing cast, and we're paying homage to American sitcoms. And as we all know, we didn't necessarily, as Black people, we weren't necessarily present in those worlds. And so it was definitely a conversation that I wanted to have with them, like, hey, she is here. And we already know, if you've seen the show, that she's already an outsider, an intruder in ways. But what how do we have her in this world but still stay true to what her point of references might be, what her experiences might be? So, like, for example, episode 3, um my pulls of references were from where, while it might have seemed like a Brady Bunch kind of world, I was pulling from Good Times. I'm like, this is Willona, this is Thelma, like this is a mixture of who those women are, but also making sure that, well, it really didn't matter if it was a stark contrast, because she's already an intruder. You're already like, what is she doing here? And her her style is a little different from what the rest are giving, but they were totally into it and excited by, yes, let's make sure we're not losing her essence, losing um the unique experiences that she would bring to this world. And as far as the, oh, I can stop there if you want. Okay, I was gonna say, and as far as like her image, um, that was so important to me. That I mean, how often do you get a Black female superhero who is obviously Black, and in the comics, true to its original, she's wearing her natural hair? That was, that was um, a bold move even back then, when the comic was created. And so it was extremely important to me, knowing that as a chocolate Black woman, we often aren't I often don't see myself in these spaces. And now that I'm here, I want to do my best to be the representation that I didn't see when I was growing up. And or that was very scarce, I should say. We certainly didn't see it much in the superhero space. And so it's definitely been um, extremely important to me and the other collaborators on this project, that we are mindful and can have fun and still while doing it, but definitely mindful of the image that we're putting out, and that everyone understands how important that is.
Well, we definitely do, and we appreciate you so much. You did that.
Thank you. Thank you. It takes a team. It's a team effort.
Look, you have manifested your role in the MCU. So I want to know, what do you manifest for Monica? What are you manifesting for her life, with all of the personal issues that she's dealing with, and also to the professional stuff with Raggedy Hayward? What do you manifest for he is Raggedy, you know it.
Raggedy. I love you, Josh. That's the actor. But it's hard to manifest for my character. I That is a group manifestation. The most that I could hope for is that I tell her story truthfully, that I am honest to what I know this means for me and hopefully for others, and I'm just trusting that the creatives and Marvels and all the powers that be um continue to be as amazing as they are in developing this woman and telling her story.
You are the new woman on the block. I want you to talk more about your experience being thrust into the MCU, because you have Elizabeth and Paul and Randall and Kat. They've already been a part of this world for so long. But I really wanted to know, what was that experience like with you really meshing in with these staples in the MCU universe, and if you have any characters that you still want to work with. That's not a spoiler, so you can answer that.
Okay, sure. It's been a crazy journey coming into the MCU from my Comic-Con in, what was that, 2019, when it was announced. I'd never been to a Comic-Con, and just everyone is so excited and passionate about the comics and the characters that they love. And so I'm really grateful that I got to experience Comic-Con in person before the whole world shut down. Um, because there is no other feeling like that, as far as like being in love with comics and interested in comics. Um, like I said before, Lizzie and Paul they're awesome human beings. So they were very welcoming. I learned by watching them. I've never green screen acted before. So that is a whole other skill set that I have an immense amount of respect for actors who do this. I probably have wandering eyes because I'm confused what to look at, that sort of thing. But they were very encouraging, and just watching them, especially watching Lizzie, because a lot of my scenes were with Lizzie, just watching her be so grounded with so much stuff happening around her. I was like, whoa, I was certainly taking notes. And then now just watching her performance on TV, she I mean, she is killing it. She is killing it. And I'm just so excited for her and just so proud of her. But yeah, for myself, they just welcome me with open arms. And I think, I'm a little what do you call it? Like, I can be excitable. So and there are things like when I first went up on a wire to get thrown out of the hex. Man, that was very fun and uncomfortable. I'd never been on a wire before. I'm probably saying all kinds of inappropriate words because straps are places I didn't know they could be. So everyone was just very gracious with me, and gave me the space to learn.
I was in the room when your name was announced in Hall H, so you were fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. See, you felt that energy. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Yes, I felt like I floated onto that stage. I was so high, like not high, but high off of emotion and excitement. Yes.